What's goody, Shellitronnn here. You can call me Shells, and I'm back at again with a brand new video, and I'm gonna keep it a Bowberry biscuit. There are some questions that need to be answered by this Carolina Panthers team in the next couple days, because very soon we have to play against the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, where even Drew Brees and his noodle arm, they cannot fail. They love playing in that dome. We don't know whether there's going to be fans there or not just yet, but as of right now, I think the answer is no. But the question of whether or not we're going to win that game isn't even coming into my mind just yet. I want to know, what exactly can we expect from this team that has so many injuries on both sides of the ball? We already know about C-Mac. Look, CMC is not playing in this game. I think we already knew that. We already expected that to happen. And the way I see it, that's the right call. I would rather rest him too long than to bring him back too early and risk re-injuring that ankle. Look, that's the franchise dude. We know what C-Mac's going to be for the next few years. Let's just make sure he's 100% healthy and has practiced for a full week before we bring him back into a game. He probably hasn't been doing that many intensive workouts on the sideline and whatnot for the team at actual practices. But we're going to move past the offense. I know there's even more injuries on the O-line. There are backups going down. A couple of our starters are in and out of the lineup sometimes from week to week. Those are issues. But the offense has looked pretty solid outside of some drops some places and some bad decisions. Those are more of concentration and observation issues rather than injury. On the other side of the ball, there is one place in particular where a player got hurt, and we're going to have to answer some very, very serious questions, because it's going to be very hard to put a Band-Aid at this spot in particular, especially with the rest of our schedule looking the way it does with quarterbacks and wide receivers that can hurt you. I'm talking about our strong safety, Juston Burris, getting a rib injury near the late part of that Bears game just this past Sunday. He got hit, he got up real slow, grabbed his chest area, and he could not even walk off the field. He barely got to the sideline. They had to call over a cart to get him. And if you just saw the way he got into the cart, you could tell. It looked like a couple of those ribs got broken. That wasn't just a rib bruise. It looked like he got a rib broken. He is now on IR, and it is unclear as to when he's going to be coming back. I'm pretty sure right now, as it stands, there hasn't been a specific injury given to him. They just say it's a rib injury. But the way he looked, the way he got up, the way he walked, the way he got on that cart, it looked like a broken rib, and that's going to be a long time. I could be wrong, but that looked like a serious injury to me. The question that needs to be answered is, who is the next man up? And according to the Panthers depth chart and what they said on Twitter, obviously, Sam Franklin out of Temple University is the next man up. And that might surprise a few fans, because you think to yourself, hold up, didn't we draft a guy named Kenny Robinson in the 5th round out of the XFL? But he went to West Virginia. Wasn't he good at West Virginia? And then he went to the XFL and he was not bad over there either. The dude is obviously a very good safety. Why would you not put him in? Why is Sam Franklin in instead of Kenny Robinson? I want to speak on Kenny Robinson first and then get to Sam Franklin, because that's a very good question. Kenny Robinson at West Virginia was a good safety. The biggest thing about his game was that he was a ball hawk. He knew when the ball was coming, knew where it was coming, and he was not afraid to make a play before it happened and fight the receiver at the point of attack and get there and make sure either you're getting the ball or I'm getting the ball. But one way or another, you ain't getting these yards. And if you did get the yards, he was not scared to hit a receiver. But the biggest criticism about Kenny Robinson was that the man was just kind of prone to freelancing. There was a play called, he wouldn't be there. He'd be thinking about what he could do in one spot, and plays are drawn up so that people are in position to do what they have to do where they're at. And so there's immediate help for other players if guys outside of their area get the ball and they can still make a play pretty quickly after that. He would be freelancing, not in his right spot, and it really messed with the scheme and caused problems for other players. He would try so hard to make a play, and usually he'd make it. But if he gets wrong, it really made a huge impact on the defense, and it was kind of troublesome there. But even still, Kenny Robinson is still a gamer. The man is a beast. But Sam Franklin, though? Sam Franklin is more the type of the strong safety this Panthers team needs right now in the situation we're in, more so than Kenny Robinson, because Sam Franklin is an actual dog. He started off his time at Temple as a slot corner, then got moved to linebacker. This dude is not just a linebacker. I can't say he's like a Jeremy Chinn. Look, I'm not going to call him a Jeremy Chinn, but he is a linebacker with very, very, very good coverage skills. He is not a linebacker like per se. Look, he's the version of what Jeremy Chinn might have been if we had him at linebacker. And we all know that Jeremy Chinn is not playing strong safety because we don't have a linebacker core. Look, we got Tyre Whitehead playing middle linebacker, and we didn't really have starter caliber linebackers on the roster outside of Shaq Thompson. I like JC, okay? But he's not really a starter caliber linebacker, and Jeremy Chinn, even though he's playing out of position, is a starter level linebacker type player because that's the way he plays safety. This man, Sam Franklin, played the linebacker position kind of in the same way we see Jeremy Chinn playing it, except he played in a lot more coverage. This kid, Sam Franklin, can cover, but he loves to hit. Pull up any game, any random game in the last 2 years at Temple, he is always in the mix. He is not scared to hit. He is ready to blitz. He's ready to be on the edge and actually set an edge, which has been a problem for our defense for the last 2 years straight. Outside runs or even inside runs that get bounced to the outside, we just do not set the edge consistently. It's been a problem since we had even elite defensive ends and outside linebackers and even better corners on the team. We have not set the edge. Sam Franklin does that. He keeps his eyes up. He actually can disengage off of blocks if he's playing in the box. Now, he's playing linebacker, so he was obviously in the box. But as a strong safety, you're going to get assignments in the box. Sam Franklin can get off of blocks and hit running backs. Now, our run defense has been, from week to week, we see different things, all right? We see different things in the run game. Sometimes it's inside runs killing us. Sometimes it's outside runs killing us. But the big difference in having Sam Franklin on the field as opposed to Kenny Robinson or even Juston Burris is that he wants to hit. He is an actual dog in tackling. He wants to be in the mix. Now, there was times, we saw when Trey Boston was first on the squad, he wasn't really trying to hit people properly. He wouldn't go for hit sticks, and he would whiff sometimes. And we saw with Dante Jackson sometimes this year and in past years, he goes for those ankle tackles. We have DBs on the roster, and we have had DBs on the roster that sometimes shy away from actually wrapping up and hitting dudes. We've seen the shoestring tackles. We see the, I'll try to push you out of bounds and hope you get out there. We see the lower the shoulder and the hope he doesn't bounce off. This kid, Sam Franklin, wraps up like a linebacker. He is a linebacker playing safety as opposed to this man, Jeremy Chinn, being a safety playing linebacker. Now, Kenny Robinson can still probably see some playing time. You'll probably see these two splitting some time at safety situationally. I can definitely see that. And that makes sense because you're replacing a guy who played 100% of the snaps for the first 3 weeks, 98% of the snaps against the Cardinals, and then 100% of the snaps against the Falcons, and then 65% of the snaps against the Bears, and that's because he got hurt. You don't just put guys in who are holding Microsoft Surfaces on the sideline and getting in on special teams and tell them, you're on the field for the whole game, all 65 to 75 or 80 plays on defense. Go out there. You're not coming off the field. Some guys, you can do that. I'm not so sure that neither Sam Franklin nor Kenny Robinson can do that right now. And I think their skill sets are a little bit different. I can definitely see them getting some rotation. They're both on the active roster for this week. I think Sam Franklin has a much bigger impact just because of what he brings in the run game specifically. And he can also cover. Kenny is probably a better coverage, strong safety, but I think that's really where his real strengths are. He can tackle, but he is not like Sam Franklin. He's not like, it is what it is. So I really want to see what Sam Franklin can do. He's out of Temple, so he knows Matt. Look, he went to Temple or Baylor. You know what's going on there. So there's no question about, chemistry with the head coach. But Sam Franklin and Kenny Robinson are in, and I really want to see what the scheme looks like, especially for this Saints game, and even moving forward, because Juston Burris played very solid. He played really good out there for us at strong safety, playing all of the snaps. I want to see how Sam Franklin does, want to see how Kenny does, and I want to see just how much we see of each one of them and how we use them in different situations. That's all I got for you for right now, though. Let me know your thoughts on Kenny Robinson, your thoughts on Sam Franklin, thoughts on even Juston Burris, and how this secondary is going to look in our next stretch of games where we're going to get some pretty good quarterback and wide receiver duos, trios. Look, there are some very good receivers on our immediate schedule, and I don't think we're going to be getting Juston Burris back anytime soon. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's a broken rib he suffered in this game against the Bears. That was a big hit, and he looked hurt. Like, seriously hurt. Hey, praise up to him, though. We got to figure something out for this defense, and look, Tyre Whitehead. If the secondary is playing good and playing solid, we can play bend but don't break defense. That's how I feel about it. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And you already know what to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.